Buy a house.
Sell a house.
That's
We're gonna get started in 30 seconds. So grab your seats. If you want any more food, grab it now. But you got so quiet. It's epic. All right, we'll just start now. All right, how is everybody? That was the fastest 30 seconds ever. So we start the same way every time. Our vision, Charleston vision, we believe in creating an authentic environment built on the foundation of productivity and collaboration to inspire our people to achieve their business goals and their legacy worth leaving. Epic. And it's been pretty awesome to watch over the last 3-4 years how this has continued to come to fruition, and the constant path to progress to this vision, which is really, really exciting. So we have some awesome news. We're doing a lot of fun things for the agent base, including some really cool partnerships that we'll get into. But we can't do great things without great partners. And they're back there. Come on up. I'm sorry, Candace and Janet, come on up. Give them a hand.
Hey, I'm Candace Wilson. This is Janet McNeil. I'm sure you guys, how many of you guys are familiar with True Homes? Awesome. Good. I won't go over some of this then. But basically, just to give you a little background about True Homes, we're a semi-custom home builder. Our corporate headquarters is located in North Carolina, but we also have communities throughout, let's see, the Triad, the Coast, South Carolina. We actually are the largest private builder in the Carolinas. So that just gives you a little background about us. Go to the next slide. So we are a semi-custom home builder. So out there in the market, you've got production builders and you got semi-custom home builders. What sets us apart is that we really allow you guys pretty much to customize. You know, your buyers basically are able to customize their homes with us versus a production builder. It's kind of like what you see is what you get. You can go to the next one. So this just basically gives you a little background in regards to like semi-custom home builder. So we offer, our community, we offer probably 10 to 15 different floor plans. We have ranches, we have master down, we have 2-story plans, and we have like different configurations for those floor plans. So like, for example, if you're familiar, we have O'Reilly floor plan. You literally have 2 to 3 different second floor configurations that you can choose from, whether it be like 2 bedrooms upstairs or like 2 bathrooms upstairs versus like 3 bathrooms. So being semi-custom, we really allow your buyers to literally personalize their home with options, whether it be structural or design options. And this kind of just talks about our offerings. So as I mentioned, we're semi-custom. So we offer client builds. We offer inventory homes, which those are kind of like a production builder where they're, what you see is what you get. And we now offer OIL. So I'm not sure if everybody's familiar with OIL, but OIL is basically on your lot. So if you have a client that basically owns their own property, they can actually build a True Homes on their property. So they can, go in there, design the structural items. They can also design, design studio items, but they can allow it to personalize it. And what's great about this option, OIL, that we just introduced is that we have bought some land throughout, Somerville, Moncks Corner area,
Some of Charleston area.
Charleston area. We've bought, some land, and we're actually putting up some inventory already that is on your lot. So if you have a client who loves our floor plans, like one of the ones we have in Moncks Corner right now that we're started, it's on acre.
Yeah.
I think it's about an acre lot. It's going to be a Riley floor plan. But it's 2 car. I think it's 3. It's either 2 or 3 car garage, but it's basically for somebody who doesn't want to be in a community. You have those clients out there that don't want to be in HOA communities. Well, our OIL is a great option, for them. And we have a department that actually leads that. You would reach out to Janet or I, and then we would connect you with our OIL contact. But that is like huge, I would say, in the Charleston market right now, because people don't want to be in HOA communities and they want to have the option to still personalize their home. So that's something that we definitely just introduced along with our inventory. So we want to talk about our two communities. We pretty much have two communities. If you're familiar, we've got Homecoming and we've got North Creek community. I'll go to the next one. And I'll let Janet, give us some background on the Homecoming community.
Okay, who has been in Homecoming? Okay, quite a few of those. So it's the same floor plans that we have throughout even the North Creek. However, we really dress them up. So they are cement board siding, they have the big 8-foot doors, they have the 9-foot ceiling even on the second floor, they have the big full 8-foot front porches. So it's a very different look when you drive through the community. I kind of call it, it's almost like Rainbow Road because you have really bright colors coming into it. It is located a little about an hour and a mile and a half from Ashley Ridge High School. It is a Ravenel address, but it's still DD2 schools. So it's really beautiful. If somebody look more for that custom style look, but not quite the budget, that is a good medium, I would say. We also just introduced or released some lots in the back of the community where we can do a 3-car garage or side load garages. So just keep that in mind.
And they're big lots, they're some of them are
Yeah, we had some
third
half
acre.
acre, 0.49, 0.3 something. Obviously, those two already sold, but we have some more because a lot of people are looking for the bigger lots. We also have an amazing amenity center. We're supposed to have a grand opening, but that sometime in May. Look out for those invitations because we would love for you guys to come out and see that.
June 8th, June 8th is
June
the
8th,
date.
there you
We're
go.
having a big broker social out there. So you guys, we have your contact information. Definitely come out and check it out. It's gonna be fun. We've got food trucks coming out there. We do gifts and prizes as well.
Yeah, we have a really nice pool. They're gonna cabana, barbecue station. We're gonna have cornhole,
Pickleball.
fire pits, and then pickleball as well, which is kind of a new thing. Never done it yet, but everybody seems to do it.
Seems to be the in thing right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. And then I really the easiest thing, we float around between the communities. If you guys know somebody or have a client that maybe needs some more information, just reach out to us. We let you know what we have, what we offer. We can set up an appointment with you guys. Okay, and also a lot of times what I see, we send out the information and get forwarded. You want to make sure you register your buyer prior, because a lot of times, they go out and then you want to look around. So it would be good to just let us know who's coming out, when it's coming out, and we will make it happen with you guys.
So I know everybody's probably familiar with the Nexton. That's our other community, is in North Creek. So if you have buyers, what's great about this community is if you're familiar with Midtown, Midtown pricing, is definitely, $500,000 and higher. Our community, you actually can get in under 400,000. We are on our second to last phase, actually, in that community. So once it's done, it's done. But we do have inventory. We actually gave you guys some inventory sheets. So we've got some inventory there. Awesome price. Some of the inventory right now is like $350,000 for like a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bathroom. And then we also have lots that you can build, homes on as well. And we have a pool and we have a clubhouse out of that community.
And you're next then, so.
Yeah, and you're in Nexton. Everybody loves Nexton. Yeah, next one. And then basically our goal here today is basically you guys have the buyers, you guys influence the buyers. We want to partner with you. As Janet mentioned, we can cross-sell into both communities. So if you guys just want to reach out to me and Janet, anytime a buyer's looking for a home, whether it be new construction or not, we just want to be included on your tour. We might be the right fit, we may not, but we just want the opportunity out there. Because we appreciate you guys. We love you. It's clearly, we bought lunch for you guys. We do giveaways all the time. We just gave away an iPad to a broker, for a raffle about a month ago. We're always doing events. If you sell like 3 homes with us a year, you get option to get like a Gucci wallet, you get a Yeti cooler, they're doing Tiffany's. And we like to take you out. So if you want to, hit up me and Janet, you want to meet at Halls, it's on us. So you got a nice meal,
And one thing too, I want to, it's not all about what you can do for us to bring the buyers. So we're not transactional. Obviously, that's our livelihood at the same time, but also we also kick back buyers that come in.
Mhm.
A lot of them don't work with an agent. Some of them don't have their house listed yet. So it's not just a one-way street for us at
Both
all.
ways.
You know, so we can even have meetings at our clubhouse if you just want to host like a buyer event. Or if you want to just host another meeting, let us know. We can maybe have the, you know, the venue for it. So, I mean, it's truly a partnership. It's not just bring us buyer. We're really working closely together with you and also helping you out and making your life easy. If you can attend an appointment, no problem. Let us know. We have the appointment, we walk through it, we're gonna give you an update. And then you probably know much more by the time we're done with them that you probably don't even know as of yet, because it takes some time to build a rapport and ask the right questions. So also use us for that as well, you know, that's really. all.
Yeah, I mean, cause we know we also have a lot of offerings. Like I said, our goal is pretty much just to basically, you know, put us on your tour. You know, we can, as Janet mentioned, you know, we can ask the hard questions. We can provide a solution that fits, you know, good for your client, you know, whether it be the right fit or not. At least we can kind of guide them in regards to, you know, home buying purchases and everything. So,
Any questions?
One quick question, does it qualify for USDA?
yes.
It does.
Yeah, both of our communities do right now. Yeah.
If you're having a home built on your land, what's the estimated build cost?
So, I mean, they definitely, you're probably looking at least probably a minimum of a year, probably from start to finish. Yeah. I would
Because
say.
there's so much more that goes into, you know, connecting utilities and then I mean, there's so much more to it, so, yeah.
Yeah, I would say
Yeah.
about a year, you know, depending on, you know, the land, if they have to clear trees, might be a little bit longer.
Pardon me?
Yes, we always pay 3% commission. Yeah, we always pay 3% commission. We never go lower than that. We might go higher, in regards to like adding bonuses, but it's always 3% commission.
It was always three, even in COVID.
Yes, Donna.
I just want to vouch for you guys. So my very first buyer seminar, we were hosted at your clubhouse. I was at one event and they was the freaking pom bag. I'm so mad at you. So they're really great to work with.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah.
Next time out.
And actually, one thing that we do
Got them
every
today.
year is also, we actually have, it's kind of like a bus tour. We actually go to Charlotte to a true party. In order to be qualified for that, it's one sale a year. So, and then you receive an email and typically that's a 500 max on agents. So literally when they send out those RSVPs, they're gone within an hour or two. But we have agents walking out of that, 300,000 something.
So we
That's-
gave away 300,000
yeah.
prizes and gifts last year. We literally had a broker walking away with like $16,000 in cash.
Escorted to their car with cash.
Yeah,
Okay, so we do some fun stuff. And we pick you up, we meet probably most of the time in North Creek, but everybody go to Charlotte, go to the party, and then we come back. So it's fun.
yeah, just a
Yeah.
way to kind of show our appreciation. And then
Yeah.
question about there.
Yeah. Wondering how you handle sales.
So right now, it's a great question. Right now, we actually are accepting home to sell contingencies. And we are accepting home to close contingencies. You just have to have, you know, the home be live when you do the contract, but it's pretty much, you have like 30 days to do like a home to sell. And then after that, we can, you know, extend it, you know, with manager approval, but that's, right now we are accepting those, which is awesome.
So we are asking the question, kind of what they expected, that you think the house will sell, kind of the comparable and things like that, if you want to see that. And, you know, when we approach the 30 days, we just have to see, where are we? What is your plan of, are you going to reduce, or are you changing something, things like that. Yeah.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Are we gonna?
I'll go get it.
You get it? Okay. Yeah, then she's gonna pull and she's gonna get the prices, okay. Yeah, all right.
All right. First one is Winnie Rogers. On a tattoo. Second one.
Go ahead, oh, yeah.
Hold on. Camera. And then the last one. Patty is the last one.
Very good.
Thank you.
One second.
I like it. She goes, me?
All right. Thank you so much. Let's get rocking. All right, so we're all about gratitude. So it's foundational, completely changes the world. So let's do three. Who has somebody's bucket to fill or who's thankful for something that they want to share or something that's really good that's happened? Go ahead. Celeste. Love it. Collaboration at its finest. Who else? Two more. Huh? Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, great. So, I would like to thank Tiffany, Kristen, Holly, and Jai for their work on the training calendar. As we've seen in the last 30 days, the change in what we're offering, how we're offering, this is a group effort. I'm so thankful for that. We already have, I got it, I have so many, we already have the proposed May calendar, and it's April 12th, 13th, so that's awesome. So thank you guys very much for that.
Yeah.
So the next twofold, it goes with our leadership team, specifically the growth side of things, as well as just the Mount Pleasant office in general. Their numbers came out earlier this week. Mount Pleasant is ranked 9th in the company worldwide for net growth in agent count. That's awesome. But although that's just, it's awesome. But a good job.
Yeah, West Ash is in the top 50 or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, just as an organization as a whole,
Yeah.
it's pretty epic. And and growth matters because healthy things grow.
Yeah.
And the more great minds that are sitting in this room, the more great minds we put together, the more great ideas, the more people we can help, the more money everybody makes. Because money is simply a byproduct of the value that we give the community, right? And with great minds, we can create more. So it's an awesome. Go ahead.
But and again, taking Charleston as a whole, that does put us number one in the region for net growth. And like number two is like company wide, like 40 or 50 overall.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we're doing well. Good job.
Yeah, it's a really good thing. So that's all of you too. All right, let's rock. So with that said, March list is taken. Freeman team and Power Homes, Beatty leading the way. Let's give them a hand. List is, oh, those were the list is taken, or?
Yes.
Oh, this is
West
West,
Ash,
yeah,
Mount
this is
Pleasant,
West
West
Ash. I get this wrong every time.
Every time.
I can't read. So Chuck Town, Synergy Basket, let's give them a hand. It's Epic, Charleston Briggs up there. List is sold for the month of March in Mount Pleasant. Freeman team, Owen Costello, Garrett, let's give them a hand. Vivian's up there, way to go, top 3. And March listing sold.
West
Chucktown, oh no, this is West, yeah, it's West Ash. Chucktown Baskin and Sarah, I see you there, way to go, top 3. Closed units in Mount Pleasant, Freeman, Snook team and Vivian, way to go, let's give them a hand. And in West Ashley, Chucktown Baskin and Coastal Edge and Synergy, top 3. Let's give them a hand. That's awesome. Exciting stuff. So, is anybody in here on this? This is
Mount
which one's this?
Pleasant.
This is Mount Pleasant. Yeah. Jesus, I can't. It's written up there. Yeah, got it. Thank you. You were so supportive. Mount Pleasant. So left side, that's March month to date. And right side year to date. So anybody on this list? Stand if you are. No?
There might be people on Zoom. There's like 20 something people on Zoom.
West Ashley. Oh no, this is still Mount
Teams.
Pleasant. This is teams. Freeman, Snook and Vivian, Weed in the month. Charleston Connection, Freeman team and Snook top 3. Let's give them a hand.
This would be West
And
Ashley.
this would be West Ashley. You're so
Individuals.
helpful. Delisha, Trad, Sarah, I see her in here, top 3 in March, and Trad, Celeste, and Brian Mack, top individuals. Way to go in West Ashley. That's awesome. Congratulations. And
West
teams, Chucktown, Baskin, and Coastal Edge, that's Jessica. Chucktown, Baskin, Coastal Edge. Let's give them a hand. That's awesome. And here is Greater Charleston, so everybody together. Let's give all of these individuals a hand. Pretty epic.
Correct?
Celeste is up there, yeah. Did you
Greater
change it? Oh,
Charleston
yeah.
Teams.
And this is teams.
Yep.
Pretty epic production. Let's give them a hand. All right, profit share. Who knows what profit share is? Everybody does. 48% of the profits generated at the local level are shared back to the agents that have helped generate that profit. It's an awesome, awesome opportunity to create passive income. Who went to KW Wealth? It was in Charlotte. I don't know if any, yeah, were you up there? It was unbelievable. And they talk a lot about passive income, this idea of paying your, he doesn't call it expenses or budget, he calls it burn rate, what you spend on a monthly rate, on a monthly basis, covering your burn rate with your passive income and how that creates massive flexibility, financial freedom, the whole 9 yards. Profit share is an easy way to start to feel what passive income feels like and what it can do for your life. So it's an awesome, awesome opportunity to dive into. Then leading the way, Julie and Mike Green. Let's give them a hand. That's in Mount Pleasant. And in West Ashley, Bill, Vinny Bag of Donuts, Winnie. Let's give them a hand. Cappers, everybody loves capping. All of these individuals, let's give them a hand. That's epic. Earning 100% of their commissions for the rest of the year. That's awesome. And their first closings with KW Charleston, the Julie, Chris, Sarah, and Annie. Let's give them a hand. What do you got? Sarah. And welcome to the family. So for the month of, I don't know when this was, but all of these individuals, is anybody on here?
Danny.
Yeah, there you are. Welcome to the family. So let's give them a hand, a big welcome. Happy birthday. You're singing. So if you see them around, say happy birthday. Anybody today? What's the date?
13th. Nope. Two.
Wendy's tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh, happy birthday. It's awesome. Let's give them a hand too. All right, big news. So we have two pretty awesome things happening from a partnership standpoint. The first, what is the first? First is KW Parkway. We're sitting right here. So Flower Town Group and Keller Williams, Charleston has come together. We now have a location in Nexton. So let's give it. We're super excited. If you ever want to stop by, it's open to everybody. We can all stop by. If you're in that area, go and say hello to Chad and Lad and the team. Super excited to be a part of Flower Town and have Flower Town be a part of KW and Charleston. So really big, awesome growth happening and a huge opportunity for us to have not only a presence in downtown Somerville with Key, but a presence in Nexton as well, and give agents the option to wherever they are, stop into one of the offices and grow. So again, let's give them a hand. Another awesome thing. So we've done surveys, we've done all kinds of stuff. One of the things that people talked about was productivity support, not necessarily coaching, but productivity support from the standpoint of transaction coordination, marketing support, help with administrative services, stuff like that. So we have awesome news in that department. One of our first ancillaries in that space, be it transaction coordination, powered by Greater Charleston. We've partnered with Simple Closings. It's actually an amazing individual who I've known for, how many years have we known each other? 8 years. Denise Hendricks now, right? Denise Hendricks. Yeah, Swift. One of them. Denise Hendricks. She actually joined. She came back to KW. That's fun. Yeah, welcome back. And yeah, third time's the charm. One of the two. So her daughter, Lindsay Fisher, and Denise, they started a transaction coordination company. We started to talk and we found that, hey, this is an awesome opportunity for us to combine forces, bring an unbelievable service to our agents, exclusively to our agents. And if you want more information, scan that code down there. We'll also get in our team meeting recap, we'll get the information all out to you with the flyer, the cost is $325, the base cost $325 per transaction. So cheaper than what most transaction coordination is going to cost across the industry, and the service is going to be way better because Lindsay's awesome, Denise is awesome, and we're awesome. So if you want more information, scan that code, give them a try, and everything that they're about, they understand the KW system. They're going to help you with command. There's a lot of additional services that we're going to grow and scale within Simple Closings powered by KW. So it's going to be a really awesome tool and resource for everybody to dive into. Plus, it's cheaper than everybody else and better. So if you have questions, scan that thing or call us, text us, and we can get you connected with Lindsay. And you can talk to Lindsay, you can talk to Denise, you can talk to me. We can tell you a little bit more about it. Lindsay is super open to just an introductory call. If you have questions about it, we can go down that road. So let's give a hand, because this has been in the works for a while. What we got? What's coming up? I'm doing these.
Yeah, good.
I'm doing these too. MREA, shift. Oh.
Wednesday,
Shift book club. We already did the MREA.
maybe I'll just take it back over.
No, I got that.
Okay, all right, good.
This is good. Shift book club. So Maggie LeBlanc, she's leading the Shift book club every Wednesday at noon in the West Ashley training room. Who believes we're in a shifty market? Every hand should go up, right? A shift isn't bad. A shift just means money is changing hands in a different place than it did prior. And all we have to do is change our activities and put ourselves where money is changing hands now. Right? When we change our mindset around these things, it becomes less big. It becomes less scary. And the Shift Book Club gives us tactics as to how to adapt our business based on the market that's of the moment, the market of the moment, right? So this is an awesome collaborative group. Go to the Shift Book Club. If you need a copy of the book, we have copies of the book in both market centers. We can get you a copy. But if you haven't read this book, definitely read it and join the book club to do it together. So bold,
This
or
is-
step 2, right? It's coming
No,
up next Tuesday.
Yes, this is the step 1 bold makeup class. If you weren't able to make the first step, this is happening Friday at 1 p.m. And it's going to be via Zoom. So scan this. It's also on our calendar. I think it's on our calendar. We'll also send it out in the recap as well.
Yeah, cool. This was an awesome addition by MAPS Coaching and Bold. So business objective life by design. Who was that Bold for that? That's awesome. Did you love it? Was it impactful? It's pretty unbelievable. They did some unbelievable exercises in that, and that was only the first step. Yeah. Yeah, there were how many? In a 20-minute period,
69.
there were 100 and how many? 169 appointments scheduled just via text, which was pretty epic, right? And that was just the first step. And it was it was literally a 20-minute exercise. So if you haven't taken Bold, jump into this. If you're interested, join. The other part is the addition that they added was if you do miss a step, every Friday at what time? 2 o'clock or 12 or something like that. We'll get the time.
Yeah,
I think it's 2 o'clock. Every Friday at 2, there's a 1 or 2 hour Zoom of all the material that you've missed, right? For that particular step. So don't worry. So you can still graduate. You're not missing the material. It's just going to be a little bit more condensed in a shorter time period. But if you're going to miss one step, you still can get the value in Bold. So
Go ahead.
go ahead.
One more thing, Celeste, you say the results of your 11.
Yes.
Oh, yes. One of the
Yeah, it's funny, human beings constantly want to complicate everything, especially smart ones like the people sitting in this room. But success lies in the simple. The text script that everybody was using, it was concise, it was like 3 lines. It started with, hey, how you doing? And the results were astounding. Again, 169 appointments set off of a text that said, hey, what was the text?
Like, I'm taking a great class and it's conversation. You know, and I'm doing all my.
Yep.
Or I know you're not looking to sell one.
But yeah, and it's unbelievable, the simplicity in the text and then how that simple action for literally 20 minutes results in some unbelievably large results and 169 appointments. It's epic, right? We're going to talk later about listings because I think that's on a lot of people's minds. It's the most leveraged activity in real estate, right? Taking listings and doing things like this, sending home evaluations through a simple text to your database can massively explode what you're currently doing, get you on track, help you exceed your goal, get you on track for your goal, the whole 9 yards. Bold is an awesome place to do it. So join Bold if you haven't yet, scan that code, and remember there is a reimbursement policy. So I think the average contracts written within Bold are 11. And I think Tammy, who's the Bold Coach of the Year from last year, I think she's averaging like 14 or 16 or something crazy. And just based on the first step, which was free, you can see why Tammy is such an unbelievable coach. So dive in.
Prices go up Tuesday after step 2. So
Prices go
You're-
up to
yeah, if you're looking to sign up, go ahead and do it.
CES. This will be in the email. Dive into some of these, Tech Tuesday, online customer experience, the whole 9 yards. Win-win negotiations with Scott.
Tammy's class, if you missed it, she's gonna have it via Zoom as well.
Awesome. Yeah, so always dive into that. So a couple of quick numbers before we get into the little mastermind that we're gonna have, me, Joseph, and Ben. Listings taken. So we're always measuring what the market is doing. Who knows what the market is up or down year to date through March? It's down. How much? 26%, right? I think it's 26 to 20, it depends how you're measuring it, but it's between 26 and 27% according to Doug Holmes. That's where I usually get my numbers. If you're not signed up for Doug Holmes' little newsletter every month, doing it, I think it's 10 or 12 bucks, gives you all of the information you need from the standpoint of average sales, where's what's selling, what's not, the whole 9 yards. It's easy. Go ahead.
Can someone send out?
Yeah, absolutely. We can send that out. Is that good? You send that out.
I'll figure it out.
We'll get his info and we'll send it out. It is an awesome newsletter. However, the market's down 26% year to date. Sales price or appreciation is still up. I think it was 6%, which is creates a pretty funky market, especially given the fact that rates are rising. So there's a lot going on that we have to understand. We're the economist of choice, right? We have to be the local economist of choice. So we're constantly looking at listings. We look at units. We look at the whole 9 yards. We're looking at this from a greater KW Charleston standpoint. And we do that understanding that numbers tell a story. They tell a story about the activities of the people creating those numbers. All of these numbers aren't just numbers. This is a sum of everybody in the room and in KW Charleston. What's cool is we've taken 7% more listings this year than we have last year, year to date. What's fascinating is the MLS, 8.27% less listings year to date. So it's a great testament to the activities that you're doing to go and take more listings. Does anybody know what page in the MRA? I'll just tell you, it's page 102. Yeah. Page 102 in the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book tells you why you should focus on listings. One of the most leveraged activities. You control has anybody ever taken or had a buyer go and get a contract and then see that their commission isn't 3%, that they're not earning 3%? Who controls how much the buyer agents pay? Yeah. So if I control the listing, and what happens if your buyer falls out of contract by that listing? Do you have to go and find another house? Do you still have the product? You don't. The listing agent has the product, right? The product is the home, right? So there's a lot of reasons that listings make sense. In the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book, how many buyers typically come with one listing taken, marketed correctly? Lynn's got it, 2, right? It is the most leveraged activity. If we only focus on one thing, somebody said to me the other day, what is the one thing that you should accomplish today in order to hit your goal tomorrow? I mean, if we just focused on talking to our database to find who wants to list their home and sell their home with me or with you, that helps you hit your goal. Everything else becomes unnecessary. It's a great book called The One Thing, written by Jay Papas and Gary Keller, and it talks about that. So what's next? So with that said, we're going to talk about a little bit this concept of effort and impact. So those that were at KW Wealth might have saw this or heard this, but it really hit me different. I've really been thinking a lot about efficiency things, right? How do I do something but get the result 10 times higher than if I was to do something to get a smaller result? Or said differently, how do I do something and almost kill 2 birds with 1 stone, right? Goofy saying, however, it's true. And for example, they talked about, his name's Brett Tanner. He's a pretty epic dude. He talked about his deal hierarchy. He's all about building wealth. And the way that he thought about deals was this, and I'd write this down because it's pretty awesome. Who wants to invest in real estate one day? Who does invest in real estate right now? Few. You know, 8% of the real estate agent base invests in real estate. According to NAR, 8% of NAR has a real estate investment property. 8%. That number astounded me. What? No, I don't remember that one.
So look at it this way, like, somebody has a hand around down, like, hey, we're about to watch something amazing on Monday afternoon. And we all left and we bought Tesla stock. And then it skyrocketed. What would happen to all of us? We go to jail. We got a presenter at a Hammond meeting today and talks about an amazing real estate deal about to come to market. It's all stats, why it's a great deal. And we invested in it. What would happen to us on Monday? We make money and people have houses. Right? So this 8% stat is fascinating. Like, we have the information we need to get very, very wealthy. And we don't. So it's fascinating.
It is. And we talk about it. Also, what hits me for that is you're the expert. You know about the deal before the individual that's helping you, that you're helping get the deal, knows about it. Right? So when he thinks about wealth and he thinks about building, his deal hierarchy is as follows. He said, number 1, can I buy it? Right? Number 2, can I control it? Number 3, can I wholesale it? Number 4, can I create value and flip it? Number 5, can I double end with a retail buyer? And then finally, can I list it? Right? And all of his marketing is based on that deal hierarchy because that's what's important to him. So I started asking the same question. What is it that I want? What is it that my business needs to go and create? And then how can I create a deal hierarchy that based on one activity, I'm getting the highest, I'm putting the lowest amount of effort to get the highest impact, yet moving myself through this deal hierarchy toward the ultimate result that I want, which is at the end of the day, to list the house. But always think about it from the standpoint of number 1, what's my highest and best use of time? And for him, it's buy it. So he drew this up, said effort versus impact. So some who have taken the 6 personal perspectives, you've seen me draw the urgent and important diagram, right? From who knows the 80-20 principle? 20% of our activities account for 80% of our results, right? I'm going to talk about that later. And this is a very similar, so we talk about it from the standpoint of important and urgent, or urgent and not important, things of that nature. How do we determine where to invest our time? Not spend our time. How do we invest our time? 24 hours is the great equalizer, correct? Does anybody have more than 24 hours? Good, because I would have asked how, because I wouldn't, right? But 24 hours is the great equalizer. So those that invest their time in a better way than, say, me, have a higher impact or create a higher return. So I want to constantly evaluate my activities to find the highest and best use of my time, right? So it comes down to effort and impact. The way that they looked at it, they said, this is low impact, low effort. This is low effort, high impact. This is high and high. And this is high effort, low impact. So does it make much sense to put a ton of effort into something, but have a low return or a low impact? So naturally, we would ask ourselves, what right now am I doing that if I stopped doing it, nobody would notice? That's a phenomenal question to ask yourself, because most of the time, you'll realize that there are a lot more things that you could stop and nobody would notice than you actually thought there were, right? That gets you out of this high effort, low impact space so that you can invest your time in another space. If I want high impact, high effort and high impact, that makes sense. I'm all for hard work creating big results, right? But what if we were able to figure out a way that I had low effort and high impact? Is a buyer more time consuming than a listing?
Yeah.
Just say yes.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. Are there multiple offers going on again right now?
Yeah.
Do you have to drive your clients to multiple houses because of it? Right? More showings, more time invested. If I have a listing, how many times do I have to show them a house if they're not buying? 0, right? Much less time consuming. Low effort, high impact, because I get the same amount of money. I actually may even get more if I'm a listing agent, right? As we discussed earlier. Low effort, low impact, just stop doing it. There's probably not a ton of reasons as to why we would be here, right? Does this make sense? So when we think about this, we think about listings is where my head went, right? And if I look at listings, grab my notebook, I did these numbers early this morning. Only 1 cup of coffee, so if they're wrong, it is what it is. So, right? And I'm not gonna because Joseph, right? I sent Joseph an email this morning saying that a spreadsheet was wrong, and he sent me an email back saying, "No, what are you looking at?" I say, "Oh, there's 1 cup of coffee. I'm wrong. I'm looking at the wrong spreadsheet." Yeah, it was pretty bad. It's horrendous, actually. So
You're in good hands, though.
yeah, don't worry. This is gonna be great. You're gonna really make money. So here's what's really cool. High impact. It's a waste of time. So in the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book, what percentage of our business should come from buyers and what percentage of our business should come from listings? Okay, what direction? Okay, that's really good. In the book, it says 50-50. Keeps it simple, right? So far, Keller Williams in Charleston has closed 609 units. That's through March, first quarter, 609 units, right? It's Keller Williams in Charleston. That means all of the agents, 417 agents in Charleston closed 609 units. Of that, 199 were listings. Sold. Right? Which means, well, let me tell you this first. Guess how many listings we took? We sold 199. We took 310. Can somebody help me with math?
Yeah.
It doesn't, I mean, it's not good, it's not bad, but it is interesting. Let's call it fasting. Do 199 divided by 310. 64, right? 64% of the listings that we've taken convert into a sold. In the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book, Joseph, what does it say that conversion rate typically is in business planning? 75%. Take a guess. What do you think the last year? What do you think our conversion rate on listings taken to listings sold was?
Higher.
You said 95, close, higher,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah, okay.
80%. So in 3 months, it's dropped whatever 80 minus 64 is typically. 16%, right? That's interesting to me. Again, I don't look at numbers and say this is good or this is bad. I'm a relatively optimistic person, probably too optimistic. I look at it and say, can I get a better result? Do I like it? Right? How do I feel about it, really? And then I determine whether I want to change it or not based on the activities. This, for me, I say, this isn't necessarily the highest and best use of my time. Something's gone wrong here. I don't want to work really, really hard to take a listing, but not sell the little bugger. That's goofy, right? So what do I have to do from the standpoint of increasing this conversion rate, right? So that's number one. Number two is I looked at it and I said, well, what percentage of my listing, of my business as a whole, your business, because again, the market center numbers, when we look at this as KW Charleston, it's a representation of each agent business within the umbrella of KW Charleston. So I would venture to guess that most businesses are relatively similar, right? Relatively, not identical, but relatively similar because they make up these numbers. So that means that there were 410 buyers sold. So if I want 50-50 in my ratio, 50% of my business coming from listings, 50% of my business coming from buyers, that means that I would need 211 listings additional sold. So I'd have to add 211 listings sold. So I'm not going to say, let's just reduce the amount of buyers. That would be goofy, right? Got the buyers. We have to figure out a way to leverage those buyers into more listings, which is possible, or to find more people in our database that are looking to list, right? So I need 211 listings sold. Now, here's what's cool. I can take our current conversion rate and understand how many listings we have to take to get there, right? So if I take 211 and I divide it by 0.64, what's that equal? 330 more listings taken. Now, here's what I also like. I like money. Anybody else like money? Yeah, you can say yes. Money is good for the good that it can do. You like it? It's great, right? Money is also a byproduct of the value that we gave to the world and to those in our world. So if we're making more money, it automatically means we brought more value. Or if I just focus on the value that I bring, what should come in return? Money. You can say it. Money is good stuff. I like money, right? So I looked at it and I said, all right, so how much money did we lose? How much money did we leave on the table, right? So it was $84 million in volume. 84.4 million in volume. That's our lost opportunity volume. LOV. It's a pretty big number. Now remember, this is 3 months of data, right? We're just looking at Q1. Take these numbers and multiply them by 4. You're looking at what we're tracking for through the year, unless we change course. Here's what's really cool about also tracking our numbers and looking at numbers. If I set out from here to California, I was going to drive, and I never looked at my GPS or a map. Would I get there? Maybe. Is it going to take me a real long time? Me? There's no shot. I'll probably go, like, I don't know. No shot. Right? What happens if I look at the map every 2 hours? Am I going to get there? Yeah, I'm going to get there. Am I going to get there the most efficiently way possible? Probably not, because I'm only looking every 2 hours. I'm gonna miss a couple turns. If I look at it every second, am I gonna get there faster and most efficiently? Just like a plane, the autopilot on a plane corrects like every millisecond. So that it gets there the most efficient way possible. When we're looking at our numbers, we can identify, and again, this is Q1. If I didn't look at this till Q4, was I ever gonna change my result before the end of the year? Say no, no shot. Now, when I look at it quarterly, do I have a better shot at changing my activities, being aware of where I am, and then hitting my goal at the end of the year? Absolutely. If I look at it monthly, do I have an even higher probability of hitting my, if I look at it weekly, higher?
Yeah.
Daily, highest, right? So 84.4 million of volume was left on the table. That translates at and I did this based on the 211 listings sold that we need, and I multiplied it by an average sales price of 400,000. At 2.7% GCI, or at 2.7% average commission rate, that's going to equal 2.278,800, whatever that means. $2.3 million worth of GCI, gross commission income. 2.2, almost $2.3 million of gross commission income that could help our families in KW Charleston was left on the table because does every transaction have two sides?
Yeah.
And 60-some% of our business comes from the buy side, the less leveraged activity, the higher effort, lower impact, right? So what can we do, and what can each of every one of us do to go and take $2.2 million of additional income, which means help an additional 211 people, which is a pretty good feeling, to get either back on track, create a more efficient, higher impact business, right? Lower effort business. Here's the other cool thing. We talked about the 80-20 principle. 80% of results are created by 20% of the activity. I'm telling you, this shows up in everything. It shows up in your closet. 80% of the time, you wear 20% of your clothes. When you look at our market, 80% of the real estate agent base 20% of the real estate agent base, it's closer to 15, accounts for 80% plus of the volume. The average real estate agent in Charleston, 70% of real estate agents in Charleston sell less than 5 homes a year. That number is coming down, by the way, right? Dramatically, because units per agent are higher or are lower than they ever been. So I said, I know for a fact that the 80-20 principle is going to show up. So 80% of this volume is going to be created by 20% of the agent base. So how much does that leave for the agents that want to be in the top 20% of the agent base? So I said, that means there's going to be $1.8 million created by 20% of the agent base. That's 83 agents, right? Each and every one of the individuals in this room that took their spring break to come and listen to us, and unfortunately me, are sitting in this room and can be a part of that 83. If I did 1.8 million and divided it by 83 agents, how much money in 1 quarter does that give those agents an opportunity to earn? $22,000 in a quarter. What's 22,000 times 4? 88. It's pretty solid. Like, that's pretty good. Anybody want an additional 88,000? I do. Sold. Go get my real estate license, which I've been trying for 2 years. But yeah, beside the case.
Yeah, we might have moved up in that company forever.
Yeah, I would have got my license, would have been able to grow. Yeah. So $22,000 is on the table for anybody that wants to change their activities. All of we talk about training, we talk about collaboration, we talk about the masterminds, right? What is the point of training? What's the point of sitting here today? To learn. But I learned to do what? Say I learned it? I learned to take action and change so I can get better than I was yesterday. I I had a mentor, his name's Jeff Stewart, a really cool guy, really smart. And he said to me years ago, he said, when you get to your front door at the end of the day, ask yourself, would I hire myself tomorrow based on my activities today? Answering that question honestly, you're not going to answer it to anybody other than yourself, so it makes sense to answer it honestly. It's not always going to be a yes. Sometimes it sucks and it's a no. Yet, what can I do the following day to ensure that now it's a yes and I never string together two no's? Everybody in this room's a human. It's okay to have an off day. I used to have on my board when I was the MCA, Tiffany's position in Mount Pleasant, it said, are you expanding or contracting today? And I always tasked myself with expanding, but I never always expanded. I didn't always get better. I didn't always say, yes, I'd hire myself based on my activities today, tomorrow. Yet I never went 2 days in a row and had the same answer, right? Which is the game. That's all it's about. So by understanding these numbers, by seeing the future opportunity and seeing the chance, the possibility of earning $22,000 additional by simply adapting my activities. Now, how would we adapt our activities? What are different things that we can do currently to adapt our activities? You guys want to add anything to this?
Yeah, and I think specifically for the buyers, is how can we leverage our buyers to go? Ben made an interesting comment here right before we got started. I think we were all embracing this conceptually, but we're not changing our activities. I think we use the word database as a verb, that we database our way into the listing. And I think for a lot of us, that can be the case because we're not databasing at all. Not calling anyone out, maybe just me, right? Yeah, that's going to be a capped opportunity. So where can we take the current buyers? I mean, if you look at this year, 310 buyers with only 109 listings, that's 211 buyers that we could have then gone and used to get listed. And are you thinking that way from a listing standpoint?
Yeah.
When you think about listings, there's two ways to do them, right? There's the database, which is going to be the longer play, right? I'm working these people, I'm farming, while some of us want money now, we need listings now, and that's great, we're gonna build our database over time. But when you sit here and complain and you don't have enough listings yet, we're not willing to take the immediate action to get listings. So what does that look like? That is the dirty stuff, that's expired, that's for sale by owners, absentee distress, and say, Ben, I don't wanna call, okay, that's fine, and leverage somebody who will. Right, because if you're saying that we don't have enough listings right now, it takes a while to foster relationships and farm. We all agree to that? Yes. So we're not going to go meet somebody at the grocery store. We're not going to meet enough people at the grocery store to build a listing database that we want right now. So we're going to have to get dirty if we're running the issue. We don't have enough listings, right? Gary said, and my favorite line ever is, if you got a cash problem in real estate, go prospect more and don't spend the cash to make the additional prospect. We're the only industry that can do that. But you have to understand, you have to take immediate action to get more listings. That is the dirty work of it. Now, it doesn't have to be dirty work, right? I love it. Bold, they switch to contribution calls instead of prospecting. So when you're calling a distressed owner or an absentee or an expired, they're already paid, right? We just sat here and talked about playing Robin's pain makes people act. We can come from a place where we're not trying to be sales, but we're trying to contribute to fixing the pain that they're currently in. And if we can, great. If we can't, we move on. But that to me is we have to start to look. We're complaining about listings right now. What's the immediate action we can take? If you're not willing to take it, you better be willing to leverage it out.
And we're seeing a whole lot more cancellations than anything else.
That's the number that really shocks me is that we're down 16% there. If you guys are all on my team, I would say you guys. There's a 16% drop in the fact that our listings taken is sold, which means that we're probably nervous that listings aren't set, that we don't have enough listings. So we go out and buy listings. We agree to list the price $40,000 more than we think it is. We're not willing to have a conversation of the price drop because we're afraid of losing listing because there's less listing. That's where I said 16%. And what happens there? For sale but that expired, it's canceled. Because everybody else is seeing that. It's not just you guys, everybody is.
Yeah, it's the market.
That's why we're seeing more expired because people aren't willing to have this conversation because they're afraid, well, if I don't get this list, I'm not going to get another listing from them. Where if we do immediate action, take more listings right now, we're willing, we can pass over that listing because I got 4 more in the pipe.
And the other piece to it, and I love that, right? Again, another reason to go to the Shift Book Club. They talk about in a shifting market, what happens to price, how to price a home the right way, how not to chase a market down, however, create a space where you're chasing the market up, right? So back to my original point around training or reading, or educating, or learning in general. We do those things and we invest that time for an ROI, return on our investment. Also, a return on our time. Like if I spend 2 hours doing something, I darn better make some money on the other end from the value that I received from that particular thing, right? And that's always our intention with team meetings, is add some piece of value to get you thinking a little different about the activities that you're currently taking, right? Because thinking translates to our behavior, our habits, and the relationships around us, which then translates to our results. If we don't like our results, then let's go back to our thinking, change our thinking, which is going to change our behavior, our habits, the relationships around us, and our results, right? So with training, take one thing and implement it. I started 2 or 3 years ago, I think it was 3 years ago now, I had a coach say to me, "Then you read a lot of books. What have you implemented from the books?" I'm like, nothing. I just read them to read them. Almost read them to say I read them, right? Because people would give me books and I'd go, "Oh yeah, I've read it. Yeah, that's great." Until he encouraged me to change my growth plan to one in which I literally, for the 24 months or for 12 months, I lay out the books that I'm going to read. I typically lay out 24 books in that year, right? And I pick those books based on where I feel inadequate or where I feel I have an opportunity to grow. Whether it's business, whether it's personal, doesn't really matter, right? But now I know what books. So somebody can come to me and say, "Hey, you should read this book." Great, thanks so much. It goes on the list of 1,000 stinking books. There are 400,000 books written a year. Did you know that? It's crazy. In the United States, it's nuts. But it goes on that list, right? And then I'll take that book and I'll put it onto the list eventually. But I already have the books that I feel are going to best help me. And then after I read a book, I just read a book by Brene Brown, Daring Greatly, and another one called A CEO Does 3 Things. And I take out of those books, I take 2 things and I write them down in that journal. Don't take my journal, right? I write them down in this journal and then I implement them within that week. After I've read the book, right? It completely changed everything from the standpoint of my return on the time I spent reading or training or in a conference or any of those things. It's the same with this, right? I just learned that there's a huge opportunity to go and beat everybody to the punch and make an extra $22,000. That translates into how much money do we say in a year? $88,000 in a year, right? That's good. That's unbelievable money. That's life-changing. That changes something in your life dramatically. $88,000, right?
I mean, you talked about this concept on Tuesday, you call it your E/E ratio, your entertainment education ratio. That was a little sobering.
Yeah.
Think about how much time, okay, I'll just pull up here and look into it, how much time are we spending on entertainment versus education? Like, what's the latest show you've been? Quickly, what do you want? Liars. But along all those lines, like going back to the book club, so who's the book club? The Shift Book Club. Fascinating. So here's why that's fascinating. If we have a listing challenge right now, and most of the topic that is talked about in that is how to get score listing. And it wasn't conceptually like this. Like, this is great, we know it. It was specifically how are you focusing? Who in here has done open house in the last 3 years? Okay, so how many of you have a specific plan from your open house to intentionally target sellers to market the open house? That's what they talk about this way, right? It's like, so it's instead of, you gotta think outside the boxes. We think open house is buyers, and honestly, it's a giant opportunity for sellers. But what we're doing with our open house is traditionally we're showing up for a 12 o'clock open house at 11:45, putting the lights on, putting time in the yard, balancing our checkbook, watching some TV, going home and complaining that we can't. So how do you look at that differently and actually prospect to not only your database, but potential sellers and everything?
Along with Sarah, Maggie had a unique, way of doing open houses.
Right.
Yeah.
And there are systems, right? A system is the way in which we do something and get a predetermined result. So there are systems for open houses. Are you running the system the way it was designed to be run? And then are you adding your own creativity to that system? Page 37 of the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book, right? Another triangle, the model and creativity, right? And I'll leave you with one last piece before we adjourn. My brother's in town, I'm gonna go play golf. That's low effort and high energy. So I'll leave you with this. Every day we wake up and we have no money, right? You have to go and find people to help to earn money. Yet, what would it look like if I woke up every day, number one, knew where my money was coming from, but number two, had an excuse to go and create more money by doing something I really truly loved? That would be a pretty cool life. Kind of sucks to wake up and be like, you know what? I hate cold calling. I have to cold call to go and create a bunch of business. And I'm going to consistently do that for the next year, every day. Yeah, right. First off, you're probably not real good at it because you don't like it. We don't like things we're not good at. Two, you're not going to consistently do it because we don't do things that we don't like to do consistently. And consistent is the key to success. So what does it look like if I literally wake up and figure out a way to do things I absolutely love? It just so happens to impact my business at a really high level. I'm telling you, there's a way. We just have to think a little different about what lead generation means. It doesn't mean cold call. And for some people, he loves it. Absolutely loves it. And he's good at it, right? I don't love it. I don't want to do it. I don't like networking. You'll never see me build a business based on networking. I hate it. Hate it. My version of networking will never work. It's go in, find somebody I know, drink a beer, leave. Doesn't work, right? But I like to play golf. I like to have small group conversations. I can build a business that way, right? I like to talk to people that I know, love, and trust, and know, love, and trust me. Think about it for you. What do I love to do? And then how does that, which is literally low effort, right? Wherever that is, low effort.
Yeah, right.
And it makes a massive impact on my business. When you figure that out, I'm telling you, you're gonna have so much darn fun. And you're gonna make such a massive impact on other people's lives and your own. And this whole craziness of real estate and business and the stress it all creates goes down, and you wake up and you want to do it again. So figure out how you can do that. Sure, know the numbers, know the opportunity, know where you can get better, but then answer that last question. How can I give myself an excuse to do things that I love to do and still grow my business? And I'm telling you, your life will change. So, does anybody need anything else? Any ahas, anything else? You guys are awesome. Enjoy the rest of your week. I'm humbled, truly humbled to be in business with each and every one of you. As always, if you need me or the leadership team, call or text. Crush it day. See you.